And now I'd like to ask Woody Hunt to give us some of his thoughts about UTEP, about philanthropy, and about the Hunt Institute for Global Competitiveness. Woody.
Thank you, Diana, and thank you, Paul. When you look at the world today, what scholarly research tells us is the world is globally competitive, and it competes more and more, not country against country or state against state, but region against region. And when you look at the Paso del Norte region, what you see is a message that in 1950, we had a median family income that was above the state of Texas and on par with the nation. And 50 years later, in the 2000 census, we're about 30% below the state and about 35% below the nation. So almost a 50, because we were 14% above in 1950, almost. And even though our income levels in 2000 are higher than they were in 1950, what we lost somewhere along the line was our ability to compete globally as effectively as we could. I'm convinced we can turn that around. I think that's already started. I think the 2010 census will help confirm that turnaround, that slide has stopped and the turnaround. But also what global research or what good scholarly research tells us is to be globally competitive, our higher education institutions have to work with business and government to help forge that competitive environment, and not only for El Paso, but for our whole region. Certainly the complexities here, because we do have 2 countries and 3 states, don't make it easy. But I think that's another reason why UTEP needs to be at the leadership, driving a entrepreneurial, innovative economy, and one that can create the types of companies that are first become locally and then nationally and then internationally competitive. And those companies were the ones that are going to have the types of jobs that the graduates that are coming out of UTEP will stay here for. And our challenge has been through this period of time is our educational system has gotten better and better at turning out graduates and high quality graduates, but our business, the demand side, has not risen to the occasion and created the jobs. So when you look at the data, we export, once you've graduated from high school, we're a net exporter of that educational level all the way up. Only if you haven't graduated from high school are we a net importer. That's not a good statistic. And I think the only way we can change that is clearly we want to continue to work on the supply side to drive better educational outcomes. But ultimately, the only way we can change it is we've got to change the demand side. In other words, we have to have those competitive jobs that highly qualified human capital wants to obtain, that pay competitive wages. And our business community is part of the solution, the government and the political leaders are part, but also higher education being able to essentially work with and help drive that vision. And so the purpose of this gift to set up an Institute for Global Competitiveness is to help set the intellectual and scholarly knowledge that resides within this university and what we can bring to the university through the donated dollars to help drive a vision and help execute that vision, help work in partnership with business and with government. So the easy part is from our side is transferring the money. The hard part going forward is going to be on UTEP side and attracting the talent to the Institute and letting it help drive a regional vision on how to be globally competitive. I'm convinced that we can be. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think if we put the pieces together, it will happen over time. Thank you very much.